others elevate not just where they live, but how they live. She's the founder of A Higher Living Real Estate. Everyone welcome Ashley Oshinsky.
Am I taking this? Thank you. Okay, so this is a little awkward for me. See, I've taught maybe hundreds, if not thousands, of yoga classes in my life. And as I was prepping for this speech, I realized everyone's gonna be looking at me, and I'm going to be looking at them. Usually I'm talking to people while they're in downward facing dog, so I'm like talking to their butts, basically. So if everyone could just get in downward facing dog, make things a little easier for me. But in all seriousness, have you ever felt like you're not enough? Not enough as a mom, not enough at your job, not enough for your family. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. I've lived there for most of my life. My name's Ashley Oshinsky. I'm a mom of two, a wife, a real estate broker, a business owner, a yoga teacher, and a writer. I wear a lot of hats. Anybody else in the room wear a lot of hats too? Yeah. And the truth is, for the longest time, I thought that if I just did all of the things and all of the things really well, I'm nervous. People would finally see me as enough. But no matter how many things I accomplished, the fulfillment and happiness that I was looking for just was not there. I have to tell you a story, and I'm taking you way back to my middle school years. For reference, I'm 35 years old, so I'm telling you a story that's over 20 years old. It was a hot September day. School had just started. My grandparents were in town from Florida. We went out to dinner, and as we were driving in my neighborhood, the car abruptly stopped in front of the driveway. When I looked out the window, I froze. The entire driveway was covered in chocolate syrup. Horrible things were written there. Words like fat ass and bitch. And to make matters worse, they made me homemade cookies and put them in a dog bowl on my front porch. Now, it wasn't strangers who did this. It was people that were supposed to be my friends. This memory is burned in my brain, and I will never forget it because it reinforced this belief that I had to be perfect. So that's when I became a people pleaser. Moments like these, big and small, filled this invisible bucket of self-doubt until it finally overflowed. By adulthood, I was exhausted, and motherhood burnt out because I was living for everybody else's approval. A couple years ago, I found myself in a deep depression. The wins didn't feel worth celebrating, and the losses were paralyzing. There was really nowhere else to go for me but up. I had to do something different. What I was doing was not working. So I decided it was time to surrender. Not just to an idea or a label, but something greater than myself. Call it God, call it the universe, call it a higher power. But in that surrender, I opened my heart up to love. And love is the highest frequency. I let go of the need to try and be in control of everything or be perfect, and I simply trusted. I had let fear guide me for far too long, making choices based on fear of judgment or not showing up or not saying the right thing. But fear also wears many other hats. It can look like judgment, comparison, anger, resentment. But love hits differently. Love is self-acceptance. Love is compassion. Love is trust. And when we come from a place of love, everything flows differently. Relationships flow differently. Opportunities flow differently. and life finally feels lighter. But when we're coming from a place of fear, we're also coming from a place of lack. That constant feeling of not having enough or being enough. Anybody else feel like that sometimes? Yeah. But when we choose love, life feels lighter. Now, I'm not promising that life is going to be perfect when you choose love, but life will start to feel more real. And that's when things will feel a little bit lighter, a little bit different. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What's guiding you right now? Is it fear or is it love? When we choose love, it doesn't just affect us. It affects every single person we come into contact with. Our family, our neighbors, our business, our community, and our country, because we know our country could use a little bit more love right now. So when we choose love, this is the first step to true freedom. Thank you guys so much.